Steve Jobs keynotes and speak Elon Musk on social media like crazy. Jensen from NVIDIA, he's in a ton of the stuff. He's like an icon. So why are these founders uniquely positioned? Authenticity that paid ads can't replicate. Founder-led content is one of the single most underutilized growth levers in brand marketing. And today we're gonna go over that, why you should be using it, and I have receipts also as to why you should be using it. Every single brand needs founder-led content. Before we even get into it, let's talk about what is founder-led content so we can set the foundation. Because there's a lot of people out there that just think it's just the founder being on camera, but it's a little bit deeper than that. I wrote down content where the founder is the face, voice, and personality behind the brand's media. Not polished ads and not UGC. It's not just the founder sitting there with the product talking about it on camera. Now that's a part of it, but that's not all of it. And it's certainly not just the founder always. You still need the other elements of advertising like animated graphics or maybe studio photography or things like that. I think one of the next steps is maybe why it works. So we have a client called Y'all Sweet Tea. And Y'all Sweet Tea sells basically packaged tea that you can brew at home. It's really big, they've grown a lot, and they're amazing. Their founders, Darian and Brandon, were in the content from the very beginning. They are basically the story behind the brand and why it started. And they've told their story for years and years and years. They started out posting a ton on platforms like Facebook, and they would do really cool like food videos and entertaining videos for people to watch, and they would tie in the product and all that fun stuff. They generated millions and millions of views. And that was the reason why they were able to drop a product like Georgia Peach or one of the first flavored teas, and it sold tens of thousands of units in minutes because they were the founders. People were buying from the founder. Another brand called Yoder Brands. It's like a meat snack brand. We took them from $0 in online sales to $1 million in 8 months, and basically all the content was founder-led content. What that was basically the founder. He's Mennonite. He was on his farm talking about how they use real meat and all this fun stuff. And we just did tons of different variations of like hooks and content archetypes and stuff like that around the founder because it built that trust. Now, one of our other clients, and we're doing a lot of our clients that are in the supplement space, if they're already influencers, they are the founder of the brand. They're in the content. We do whitelisting ads through it. But another brand, they're like an ear cleaning type product. They're in all the Walgreens across the nation, so over 1,000 locations. They're online and all this stuff. We're growing their ads, and the founder, she formulated the product, and she's certified and all this stuff, and she's now being in the founder-led content, and some of those pieces are doing really, really well. There's a founder behind every single brand. It doesn't matter if it's Coca-Cola or it's Ferrari and all these people. It doesn't mean they're alive now, and we'll get to that in a minute of it doesn't have to be the founder if they're not involved anymore, okay? And what I mean by that is if you look at people like McDonald's, their CEO has gone viral multiple times trying their foods and stuff like that. Maybe not always for the right reason, but they're on camera, and I consider that founder-led content. Steve Jobs was always at the keynotes and speaking and things like that, and then it became Tim Cook. He's one of the biggest speakers at the keynotes they do, the Apple keynotes. You have people like Elon Musk who are on social media like crazy, and a lot of people buy because of that. Jensen from NVIDIA, I love all of his stuff. He's in a ton of the stuff. He's like an icon. So why are these founders uniquely positioned? And that's a great question, and one of the first things I have is authenticity that paid ads can't replicate. No UGC person, no person you hire can replicate what the founder has gone through. Even at our smaller company that's 5 years old, no one can speak on the volume of stuff that we've gone through in the stories and just the emotion behind things like a founder can. And that's just facts. You have a built-in story. Founders have a built-in story from the beginning to the end. And that's why I advise if you're starting a brand, you should actually start the content now, show the fails, the successes, if you're starting a supplement brand, the taste test of formulating the product and all that stuff, because, there's been brands that have blown up because of that and sold out on launch because they were just telling their story from the get-go. Number 3, it's a trust transfer. People buy from people they know. Why is Terramana tequila blown up so much? Because of The Rock. No one hardly goes and probably tries Terramana tequila, maybe now, but at the beginning, especially for the first years of the new tequila, they bought because they knew it was The Rock's tequila. Or, so many other brands have popped up now because of it, but there's been so many people that have bought Teslas because of Elon Musk, right? And people buy from people. And it's kind of shifted because you're able to see into the behind the scenes. Another one, my wife used to watch Amber Chamberlain all the time. We started getting Chamberlain coffee like a couple years ago. We don't anymore, but we did for a while because my wife was a fan of her. She bought into the founder of it, right? So how can you actually do it? Now that we've discussed all of these things, how can you do it? I'm gonna try to keep it really simple for you. Number one, you need to pick a format of kind of what you wanna do. Whether it's long form like this, you're just gonna do short form snippets, you wanna do just BTS, educational, storytelling, and if you wanna go all out, do all of them. But I really like if you're starting a company from zero and you're able to get the early scenes of the trials and errors of doing everything, I would start now. And I would do behind the scenes and I would do storytelling. I think that's one of the biggest levers you can pull. And then later on, maybe get into more of the long form and things like that. And if you're able to and you have a camera, if you're growing a business, throw the camera up on a tripod and record it. Hook yourself up with a mic and just record it. Put it on a cheap hard drive and back it all up because you can use it later on in your storytelling. Secondly, you have that, but you need to define your voice. You need to know what kind of things you're gonna talk about. If, again, I keep relating to the supplement space, but define your voice in that space, why you're doing it. Maybe you have a story of, bad gut health, it runs in the family, so you wanted to start this product and you tried all these formulations, they didn't work, so you're doing this one, okay? Now you have your content pillars, and these aren't just the short form and long form type stuff. These are like your pillars of, I guess, what you're gonna talk about. I already covered one, kind of like, hey, I had issues with my gut, now I want to create this product. So I'm gonna have maybe the reason why I did it, maybe the content pillar of maybe you're not as comedic on camera, but you like the scientific facts and everything. So you're gonna talk about the science behind it. Or maybe you are super funny, so one of your pillars is joking around and having comedic things into your content and things like that. And if you're gonna do any of this stuff, I recommend you follow this one, consistency over perfection. And this is one of the things I've liked the most over the years is the consistency of everything. And you gotta stop worrying about the perfection of everything. And Y'all Sweet Tea, I talked about them. They didn't go viral just one time and they blew up. They were consistent in all their stuff for years and years and years. Number 5, repurpose everything. Because if you sit down and make a piece of content, maybe you said something that you didn't think you were gonna say, and now you have an email idea, an SMS idea, or the little video snippet or photo is used in the marketing and you use it all around. And so all those put together have a lot of similarity in the sense of the fact that founder-led content is not that hard to do, and anyone can do it, and every brand has a founder. A few questions, rebuttals that people have. I'm not comfortable on camera. Well, honestly, neither was I when I first started. When I filmed, literally the first YouTube video I ever filmed, I believe, was on my grandpa's very, very old MacBook, and it was a horrible video, and I stuttered so much as a little kid. No one's comfortable on camera, so what? But you're gonna get better, and guess what? Sometimes you not being comfortable on camera is literally so much more relatable than someone who's amazing on camera and is good at making UGC content because people can read right through it. We tried and it didn't work. Well, a lot of our content we're trying and it doesn't work, but some of it does. And I have examples, I have receipts, and those would be some of my personal content. I'm not getting that many crazy views. I got invited to speak at an AI panel. Someone just reached out and they said, hey, I want to pay for 30 minutes of your time. I really need to know some of these things in my business. I'm not going to make much money on it, but guess what? People reached out. We've landed clients from talking on camera about projects we're doing. But if an outside perspective, someone might either say, oh, they're doing great, I need to do this, because views don't always correlate to success. Or they might say, oh, they're not getting a lot, they're not doing well. So you got to get that out of your head and you just got to do it because it does work. Your brand has a founder and it's a unique, unfair advantage that you should be using, and especially if your competition isn't using it. I'm thinking of even other brands in my head right now, like Poppy. And I believe they have so much crazy content and they show their story of where they were and how they became where they're at now and the evolution of it. Bloom, the CEO of Bloom, is doing a great job. Greg is crushing it at that. There's so many other people that are doing it, but they're doing it now. If you're doing it from the beginning, you have such a unique, unfair advantage. I just hope one of you that watches this gets the urge to just start creating and putting it out there, because I do believe, like Gary Vee's been preaching from the high heavens for years and years and years, over a decade now. You founders should be on camera and you should just press record and make content. All right, I'm gonna finish enjoying my cigar, get back to work. I hope you subscribe, share it with someone, and talk to you on the next one.